Hello there, it's Steve-O here from the Elite FPL podcast, and as the title says, I've got bad news and irrelevant news. Now, for any of the more quick thinking of you out there and know of the sitcom The Office, the English version, you will understand exactly what that quote is. But yeah, basically the bad news is that unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, myself, Dan and Jason can't do a live stream podcast tonight. Jason unfortunately is ill. He's the guy that has all the tech to make this stream live. So I thought to myself, well, I want to keep getting these podcasts out there, if I'm completely honest with you. A bit like what Capping Gaming said, if you enjoy doing it, which I do, just get the content out there. And I just want to get this frustration out of my system, to be honest with you, because this is one of those game weeks where I personally feel like just giving up sometimes. Now, I know Jason is a bit, well, not only is he feeling down at the moment regarding the fact that he's having a really bad score, although ironically after today, he's having a really good score. But for me, as a mini-league rival, I put out a tweet yesterday at Elite FPL regarding the fact that me and Jason are now exactly 100 points separating us, exactly. And I'm sure it was this tweet, I can't remember, but FPL Booner basically replied with, oh yeah, that was it. It was regarding my apologies. It was regarding the fact that Jason had put out a tweet saying that it's one of the worst wildcards he's ever done, blah, blah, blah. I think it was a bit dramatic there, but it doesn't really matter. And he just had a terrible captaincy choice regarding Jamie Vardy. And FPL Booner, a regular contributor for our channel, he made a point that, oh, this is Steve-O's time to catch up with him, and I just simply reply with, no, because remember my luck this season, whatever I do with my differentials, Jason's differentials do the same, or they do a bit better, and this particular game week just says it all. I just find this game really, really frustrating sometimes. So the game is still going on at the moment. It's Liverpool 2-0. I'm assuming that's what it will end. There was, I think, 5 or 6 minutes to go. So I'm recording this at, this is when all the technology will fail. So this is 18:24 UK time. So I'm guessing that the game will be finished in the next couple of minutes. Chelsea aren't going to score. And if they do, I'll be overjoyed. But the point being is that, so Man City have the second best record for clean sheets this season, especially against the poorer teams. They're pretty solid when it comes to defensive options, and I was really confident about getting a clean sheet in this game. Liverpool, on the other hand, yes, they have the best defence in the league, but the last 3 or 4 games they have conceded goals. Off the top of my head, Fulham, as an example, scored against them. Southampton, another team, and the reason why I didn't go for Liverpool defenders is because I thought, I think their attack's better to invest in, specifically Firmino and Mane, because they're the 2 most in-form players at the moment. And Salah is just a bit too much money for the points that he's returning. Of course, today, Liverpool decide to keep a clean sheet against Chelsea. This is, again, recorded before full times happened, so I'm assuming that the game's ended 2-0. And Man City decide to concede a goal versus Crystal Palace. Now, let's just quickly go over exactly the goal scorers and assisters. But Milivojevic, again, scoring a goal. Again, I have no idea if it was a penalty or not. I don't think it was a penalty. Scores again. We all laughed when we all got him in for, was it blank game week 33? Yeah, he'll get penalty duties. Yeah, he'll get a few penalties. No, he won't. He'll get nothing, and moving forward is a waste of time. He's gone and subsequently gone and scored 3 goals, 2 of which being penalties. Sterling getting 2 goals today, fair enough, but everybody owns him, so it means nothing. A player which I genuinely made a reference to again in my podcast, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend, yeah, I should have done it. There were reasonings why I didn't do this. De Bruyne getting two assists. You know, he was somebody that I was seriously considering, although ironically, I was going to be getting in De Bruyne for Sterling, so actually kind of worked out a bit well. But Sane, another one. This game week, I mentioned it yesterday in the podcast, has been all about single game week players. I'm going to come on to a comment made by Charlie Ovenden in a second. And he made a very valid point about this particular game week, but we'll come on to that comment in a second. But then we move on to the Liverpool game at the moment. Mane, okay, fair enough. Yep, he scored. Salah scoring again. And now he's going to be in the minds of people. Van Dijk getting an assist. Henderson getting an assist. Firmino done nothing for this game. And what really frustrates me even more is that this game week, particularly for me, sums up statistics. And people kind of look too much into them. I'm not going to lie. For me personally, this particular game week, as I keep stating, I always look at live, actual raw data regarding what players do versus respective teams and everything. And Firmino for me was somebody that, he seems to like playing top 6 teams, does absolutely nothing today, but the one player that actually does nothing versus top 6 teams, so to speak, Salah, goes and gets a goal. Now, I'm fully aware that I'm not the only one in this boat, but this is when I just get really, really frustrated. And what I find highly ironic is that fantasy football is very similar to football betting. I may as well take up betting because, as you know, me and Dan and Jason, we do our preview show for the upcoming game week, and I always state this point that I so wish that myself and Dan participated at the start of the season in the free Super Brew predictor game. Why? Because it's free and you win money. And this season, I know for a fact, me and Dan would be doing exceedingly well. This specific game week, again, this is why I mentioned about listening to our previews and what we have to say. And again, this doesn't specifically help with picking players, but it could, specific players, but what it could do is help pick a certain amount of players from specific teams regarding what me and Dan predict. So of the games so far, how many games is it? Of the 8 games so far, I have predicted outcomes correctly, 5 correctly. Dan has correctly predicted 5 outcomes correctly. Jason, he's not particularly that great on predictions. He only got 3. But listen to mine and Dan's and how this. Again, I'm no expert on this. It's just something that I read. But on the Super Brew League, simply put, you get X amount of points for the score bang on the money. You then get a small amount of points for getting near enough the correct score right. So if it ends 2-1, but you predicted, if the score ended 2-1 and you predicted 2-0, you kind of get an extra point. And if you just get the outcome right, you just get a point. I don't know the specific rules, but you get the idea of this. And specifically this game week, Dan got, out of the 5 predictions that he got right, or outcomes correct, he got 4 near enough bang on the money. I got 4 near enough bang on the money, but I also got 1 bang on the money, which was the Tottenham game. So of the 5, I got 4 near enough and 1 bang on. This particular game week that's happening right now, or probably just finished, Liverpool versus Chelsea. I said 2-1 to Liverpool, so that's 2 points. Dan went 1-0. It's going to end 2-0. That's 2 points. And Jason went 3-2 goals galore. And a very good friend of mine, Pete Andrews, always used to joke with me at work that I don't know why you don't bet on football matches and why you don't take up these options that I'm not, by the way, I'm not sitting here advocating betting, but I'm just getting this off my chest. I don't know why you don't put these specific bets down with the kind of accumulators that you can do now. You're going to win quite a lot of money. Do I do it? No, because when it comes to betting, I'm absolutely useless, even though there's proof in the pudding right there in writing. But when it comes to actually betting itself, I don't win a single penny, basically. So yeah, I'm just really, really frustrated by this particular game week. I mean, I know I'm in the same, but I don't want to keep stating the obvious, but I know I'm in the same boat. But this Duffy and Ryan, just 0 points. I mean, even in the preview with Capping Gaming, I know I was joking that there are people that are tongue-in-cheekly saying that Duffy may get a red card in his first game. He may score 3 own goals in the 2 games. He may as well have done. That 0 is just absolutely... It may as well just been 3 yellow cards, other than the fat own goals, rather than... Okay, he didn't get minus points, but I'm sure people listening to this understand where I'm coming from. I'm going to... So, as it stands right now, 39 points. That doesn't include bonus points, but whatever. My differentials today on Jason, Firmino and Laporte did absolutely nothing. I'll quickly bring up Jason's team just to show you guys what he's done, because like I said, he's got 10 points ahead of me at the moment. So, yeah. So Liverpool have won 2-0. I'm assuming it's 2-0. Let's just quickly scroll down. Yeah, 2-0 it's ended. Trent Alexander-Arnold is differential, and surprise, surprise, he's getting bonus points. I think he's getting 1 bonus point as well. So that's his 1 differential from me today. And it's already paid off. I just, sometimes, like Dan says sometimes, and Jason, I kind of chuckle to myself in the sense of, alright, it's just a game, which it is. But when you're kind of playing like a cash mini league that you take really, really seriously, and you just kind of want to do really well, and you're kind of thinking, do you know what, I could potentially catch Jason with some differentials that I've done and they've done nothing. Yeah, these standard players that people keep in. Trent Alexander-Arnold, there's that clean sheet there. It against Chelsea. I mean, let's just quickly look at Liverpool's previous fixtures regarding the Premier League. So they conceded a goal versus Southampton in game week 33. Conceded a goal against Spurs. This is the last 3 game weeks. Conceded against Fulham. The last 4 game weeks. 4-2 against us. But there's a pattern forming here. And I'm sure I'm probably going to be proved wrong as I'm doing this kind of technically live. So Man City at home to Watford 3-1. Okay. This is when I'm going to be proven completely wrong now. I'm sure City must have a clean sheet. Yeah, there we are. 2-0 away at Fulham as an example. And then, of course, in blank game week 33, they didn't play. But I'm sure people are kind of getting the picture of exactly what I'm getting with. I want to bring up a team which is in the Elite FPL podcast league, just briefly, because he's done exceedingly well, and it's Daniel Ash, because of his single game week players. He's now, look at this, 89th as of last night. 89th in the world as of last night. Look who the hell he's got, man. This is ludicrous. Van Dijk. He's got Van Dijk, Mane, Fraser, Wilson. Wilson said like Tom Hanks, but you get the point. On his bench, ironically, he's got Boric with 5 points, and playing for him was Edison. I keep saying this with players that are doing really, really well this any season really. When your luck's in, your luck's in. He's got 1 Brighton player. That's it. Which kindly links me on to a point that I brought up a second ago regarding Charlie Otherton. He commented on the YouTube video that I did yesterday that he's not falling for the trap, or he fell for the trap regarding double game week players, and I think he said he doubled up on Brighton assets, and he wish he hadn't, because they're rubbish. And someone like me, ironically, would say in a preview podcast, take game week 31 as a blank game week 31 as an example. I only had, I think, don't get me wrong, I ended up with 9 players, but I didn't take a hit. And I ripped that game week off. But the only reason why I brought in an extra couple of players is because at the time I thought, I don't want to fall behind my rivals. But hindsight afterwards said you may well not have bothered taking. That was it. I took Aguero out and brought in Arnautovic. That went well. You know, I may as well have not bothered, because I would have kept Aguero instead of having to bring him back in the following game week for a hit. So he made this point, and the point being is that those blank game week games, I was like, they're absolutely rubbish. Why would you want to load up on these players? And it turned out to be true. It's like this specific double game week. Okay, yeah, a lot of people have done wild cards, etc. But point we're standing is that so many people, including Jason, tripled up on Brighton players, and Brighton defence more specifically. And it's brought him a whopping 0 points. 0 points from 3 players. It just says it all. Now, thankfully, I say thankfully, Cardiff lost to us yesterday. Brighton obviously got battered, so I have this gut feeling that's going to end 0-0, that game. I think that game could end 0-0 because Chris Hughton is going to... It is another thing. That's the heaviest defeat at the Amex Stadium as well. The heaviest defeat at the Amex Stadium, and it happens by pure coincidence when we all load up on Brighton players. So yeah, I'd like to think that Chris Hughton is just going to say, don't lose this one. And I think it's just going to be a really tight game, end up 0-0. Or probably end up 1-0 to Cardiff, or even potentially, 4-0 to Cardiff, and Duffy, Dunk and Ryan literally get nothing, 0 points wise. I'm going to take this quick opportunity to talk about another regular contributor, although he's not actually in our mini league, in the Elite FPL mini league, surprisingly, but he's a regular contributor in the chat and also comments a lot on our YouTube channel, but Mick Lee. Now you may be wondering, why are you bringing him up for? Well, this was his transfers this game week. He got rid of Shaw of Newcastle, Fraser and Anderson, Felipe Anderson, and brought in Dunk, Moray and Ericsson. He also captained Sterling, so he's having a stormer of a game week. And you may be thinking, well, on a minute, those transfers, they didn't actually seem to work out well. Well, you are right. So I'm just going to assume he took a -4. I don't know what he did. He may have taken a -8, but I'm going to assume he took a -4. And for those transfers, overall he's down by 6 points. But the fact that Sterling captain came in, it doesn't even matter. And I just want to say, not in person, but through audio, well done to Mick Lee on that. Stellar transfers there, and the Sterling captain, absolutely superb. You're going to be, I don't know where you are, unfortunately, because you're not in the mini league, I can't bring your team up, but I just want to say absolutely superb result there. So there we have it. I thought I'd, like I said, do a quick, brief reaction to today's games. It's turned into a 20-minute video. I also want to say that, just quickly, that for some reason, and again, here we go, another Steve-O rant coming up. For some peculiar reason, YouTube is now double processing these specific videos. So when I basically press stop and want to upload the video, it normally used to take approximately, say, 20-25 minutes. For whatever reason now, it's taking up to an hour, and I have no idea why. So when I upload these videos, I'm trying to get them out as soon as possible, but unfortunately, due to YouTube's uploading issues at the moment. So basically what happens is you upload the video and it will be like buffering or whatever. Then it will say processing has started. Once that processing has started, normally it uploads instantly. But over the last 2 or 3 videos, I think it's the last 2 videos I've done, once the processing is finished, it then goes for another processing phase. So I'm trying to get these videos out as quickly as possible, and I can't because of whatever YouTube's issues are at the moment. Anyhow, after all that, like I said, I can only apologise for the fact that there is no live stream tonight. I really do mean that because I was really, really looking forward to doing one. But like I said at the start, due to unforeseen circumstances, we can't. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in the Arsenal game tomorrow. So going back to our predictions, like I said, me and Dan seem to do all right. I went with a 3-2 win to Arsenal. Dan's going 2-2. And just for reference, Jason's going 2-1 to Watford. So if anybody wants to put a few pennies on those correct score lines or outcomes, by all means, bet responsibly. But in all seriousness, I am finding that these solo podcasts are going really, really well at the moment. I'm finding the reaction absolutely superb. As Capping Gaming said, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, if you enjoy doing it, continue doing it. I think you guys, based on the feedback that I'm receiving, seem to and appear to enjoy these solo videos. When I say they're not particularly long, they're not long in the sense of when it comes to the live streams that go on for well over an hour. These are like 20 odd minutes long, but I'd like to think that I'm coming across well enough for you to kind of be engrossed in what's being spoken about. Predominantly these are more, I would say, audio. I would listen more for audio rather than on-screen, entertainment or viewership, but whatever. The point being is that I can't thank you enough for watching these specific videos. If you do enjoy this specific video, please hit that like button. As I always say, it does help the channel grow. If you've enjoyed the content and enjoyed previous content, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to set a new target here. Try and get to that. We're going up really quite quickly, and it'd be amazing if we could get to 500 by the end of the beginning of next game week. So here's a challenge to anybody that's actually watched this to the end. So by the next game week, which is Saturday 20th of April, and it will be 11:30, so the start of double game week 35, the game will be uploading at 11:30. I would love it if we could get to 500 subscribers. That would be absolutely amazing. Our main target is 1,000, and the reason being is that I could then do mini live stream podcasts. I'll go over the most basic details. The fact that YouTube now has new terms and conditions where if you want to do a live stream from a mobile phone, you must have 1,000 subscribers. Obviously, we're not even halfway there yet, but we're slowly creeping up. So it'd be amazing if we were to be able to get to 500 subscribers. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content today and you want to see more of it, hit that subscribe button. We try and get out as much regular content as we can. If you want to find out when we next go live, then by all means follow us on Twitter and Instagram. That's @EliteFPL. We always advertise when we're going live. These specific solo podcasts, I only advertise once I've recorded them, quite simply put, because they are literally quite spontaneous. I.e. today, I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it to just rant about this particular game week so far. So yeah, there we have it. That was me, Steve-O, doing his solo Elite FPL podcast. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys soon.